security. So we can give the security for the file with password and access privileges. So when you are giving password, we have to follow these rules. Password should not indicate common details, especially name, date of birth, or year. Password should up to date regularly. So I think you may know about your bank passwords. Every 3 months, they are updating, changing the password. Example, People's Bank, Commercial Bank, HNB, they all, every time after 3 months, they ask us to change the password. Okay. So password should consist of capitals, symbols, and numbers, which cannot be hacked. If you want to make a strong password, it should consist of all these features. Password should consist of 8 to 12 characters. Do not write password. PW mean password. When you are writing, write it full format. Do not write password. Keep it security. Do not write mean, don't write it on books. Okay. Then access privileges. Different access privileges provide for different users. Access privilege can be limited according to authorized person. So in your school, you may have login usernames and passwords. Teacher login account has more access privilege than the student account. So student guest accounts are there for the login system in your school network as well. Then authentication. Okay, before authentication, we'll write these 3 slides. Authentication. So authentication refers to identify each user of the system and associating the execution program with those users. That means identify the user and execute the relevant program for the user. It is the responsibility of the operating system to create a protection system which ensures that the user who is running a particular program is authentic. A program එක ඒ පුද්ගලයාට අදාළ එකක්ද authorize කියන්නේ ඒ user authentic එකක්ද කියලා identify කරන OS එක හරහා. Operating system generally identifies the authenticates user using following ways. So users are identified by the operating system with the username password. First one, username password. User need to enter a registered username and password with operating system to log in into the system. Then system can identify who is logged into the system, what are the required file for that particular user to execute, right? Then user attributes, fingerprints, eye retina, patterns, signature are user need to pass these his or her attribute via the designate input devices used by the operating system to log into the system. So in your phone also phone locks are there and fingerprint also there. Laptop even you have the fingerprint. Okay, so you system can identify the authorized user with the help of username, password, and user uniquely identifiable attributes, physical attributes. Okay, so fingerprints, eye retina, signature can be there. So we call this one as authentication. Identifies the authorized person with the help of username, passwords, and user attributes. We call this one as the authentication. Authentication refers to identifying each user of the system and associating the executing program with those users. හඳුනගෙන එයාට අවශ්‍ය programs ටික එයාට එක්ක associate වෙන programs ටික user provide කරනවා. For that, use the username, password, and user attributes. So in edX syllabus, we call personal unity physical attributes. Our syllabus just use attributes. Use attribute means users unique identifiable attributes. That means eye retina. So person to person, that's different. Fingerprint, that also differ person to person. Okay. So uniquely identifiable features we call user attributes. In our syllabus, it doesn't contain the unique keyword personal unique characteristic. I just put with the bracket personal unique characteristics. Okay. Okay, it can be eye retina, fingerprints, face recognitions, signature also considered. Okay, shall we write these two slides? File storage management. Now we are going to discuss how the file storages are going to manage which type of mechanisms using. First one, file control block. Second one, block-based organization. Third one, file space allocation. Fourth one, fragmentation. Fifth one, FAT NTFS. So we have already discussed the FAT and NTFS. So now we are going to discuss the file storage management one by one. Okay. So here, file control block. In an internal file system structure, use the DOS for accessing files on disk. Now, we are using Windows, but the foundation of the Windows is DOS. Do you know that? Windows. We have the window, but inside we have all the files, folders, everything appear like a window. But actually inside this Windows, we have the DOS file format. DOS prompt is there inside. So on top of the DOS, we have Windows. Okay. So in the internal file system structure used in DOS for accessing files on disk. The FCB file control block contain information about the drive name, file type, user information that is required by the system when a file is accessed or created. When the file is created or when it is modified, when we are going to access. So information about the file should be displayed. So that is available with the DOS also. The operating system maintains the following information. So when you take the file contains the file created date. Second one, file capacity. Then the name of the file, granted user permission. Okay. Those things are available. It's available on the DOS as well as normal window file, even it's available. So now, just look at this one. When we type the dir directory, or if we select a folder, so it shows us the file format, the date which it created, all the information. Okay. So the date which I took the print screen is available. The date which I create the file and the time access. So same way, when you take the file, just assume I'm going this one. Okay, so now here, the date also available, created date. When I right click and go to the properties of this file, you can see now I'm using Windows format as well as using the DOS. Also, we can check the file features. So here, modified date, access date. If I want, I can hide it, or else I can give some advanced features. Okay, so these features are available in the file. So we call this one as file control block. So file control block features available. Then block-based allocation. Okay, before moving to block-based, first we'll copy down these two slides. Write down file storage management, then copy this one. Just look at how the DIR is available directly. The date modified, the date created, all the features are available there. Okay, shall I move to the next one? Next one, block-based organization. As we discussed earlier in hard disk, you know the hard disk consists of the tracks, sectors. Okay. So now look at block-based organization. In a block-based organization, sometimes called physical record, is a sequence of bytes or bits, usually containing some whole number of records having maximum length block size. So when we are going to save the records, it is going to save as clusters. Can you remember when we were discussing that hard disk structure? I told you there are tracks. Okay, so tracks are divided. There are tracks. Tracks are divided into the sectors. So when the file is saving, adjacent sectors are allocated for the file. Therefore, for example, video, we can't break the video file. So entire video has to save in as a block. So in such situation, clusters are used to save the file. So block data is normally stored in a data buffer and read or written a whole block at a time. So when the computer is going to read the data, all the data will read as one block, but it's saved in several sectors like cluster. Blocking reduces the overhead and speed up the heading of the data stream. So again, remember this one, our structure of the hard disk. If the files are saved in adjacent sectors, adjacent blocks, that means close by, we call it as clusters. So it is easy for the header to move. Okay, if it is here and there, it is hard for header to select the location and read and write. So since all the allocated files are allocated in close by, then easy to read and write the file. තැන් වල නැතුව ළඟ තියෙන අනුයාත clusters වල sectors වල තියෙනවා නම් ළඟ පුංචි කෑලි වල තියෙනවා නම් save වෙලා header එකට point කරන්න ආය header එක උස යන්න ඕනේ නැහැ. එක ළඟ තියෙද්දි එක ළඟ read කරන්න පුළුවන් header එක move වෙන්න ඕනේ නැහැ. adjacent sectors වල තියෙනවා. අපි කියනවා cluster එකක් කියලා. මේ block විදියට අපි read කරන ඔක්කොම එක block එකක් විතරයි ගන්නෙ. ඒ ගන්නකොට ළඟ save වෙලා තියෙන එක වාසියක් වෙනවා. හරි. තව දෙයක් ඉස්සරහට ඔයගොල්ලෝ යන block size එක සමානයි, frame size එක සමානයි, page size කියලා කතාවක් ඉස්සරහට ඉගෙන ගන්නවා. එතකොටත් program එකක් ගත්තොත් program එක සමාන blocks වලට කඩන්න ඕනේ. ඒ කඩන එක OS එකෙන් තමයි වෙන්නේ. අපි ඒක ඉස්සරහට කතා කරමු. Then the example of block-based organization devices rotating media such as floppy disk, hard disk, optical disk. So blocking reduce the overhead and speed up the heading of the data stream. That means reading will speed up. Heading means the header of the hard disk has to point